Hi everyone, I'm going to continue the series of the great Oriental Rabbanim. Today it is going to be the Hilula of a very famous rabbi, obviously Maran. His name was Rabbi Yosef Caro, who was actually born in Toledo in Spain back in the year 1488 and passed away in the year 1575. So he lived about close to 90 years of age, and he wrote the Code of Jewish Law, the famous book which we use very much nowadays, also known as a Beit Yosef. Also many people call him as the Mechaber, because he's the one that wrote the Code of Jewish Law, and naturally the Ramah for the Ashkenazim added the different laws that applied to their specific areas also. So he was born in 1488 and in the place of in Spain, naturally, by his family were driven out, part of the Spanish Inquisition, while he was a young age of only 4 years old, and they moved at the end to a place, a kingdom in Portugal at a later stage. And then there was expulsion of the Jews from Portugal towards the end of the 15th century in the year 1497, where the Ottomans actually invited the Jewish people to settle in their empire. So they were over there before they naturally moved to Morocco at a later stage. He was very, very great in Gemara learning, in the Talmud also, which is very interesting. And between the years of 1520 to 1522, he actually settled in an area called Adrianople, which is, and then later on, naturally moved to Tzfat. This is a place where there was a gigantic amount of Torah scholarship in Kabbalah, all the mystics. Over there, I did different videos with regards to Rabbi Isaac Luria and many of the other great Kabbalists who lived in Tzfat. He arrived there in the year 1535 and spent a few years in Salonika, and also in Istanbul, in two different countries. That's modern day Greece and also in Turkey, respectively, around the years 1533. And later on came and settled in the village of Bayrayai, that was naturally in Sfat in the round 1555, that is. And that's where he wrote the first order of the precious Shulchan Aruch, the Orach Chaim, naturally, which is called, that was around in that time period. Now, he had a very, very distinguished rabbinic career also in different places, and needs to be also expounded on, but wrote many, many different great books. I'll name a few of them, including the Beit Yosef, which was a commentary on the Arba Turim. This was which is naturally a current Jewish law book that is used even in nowadays. And in this commentary, Rabbi Yosef Caro showed the most astounding mastery over all the different Talmudic things and all the different legal literature from the Middle Ages over there. There was Shulchan Aruch also, which is a condensation of the decisions of the Beit Yosef, which was finished in the year 1555. And it was published naturally in 4 different parts in the year 1565. So he must have been in his late 70s at that point of time. There's also a book called the Kesef Mishnah, which was also naturally published in Venice, which I've talked about before. In Venice, in Italy, there was a big publishing house where many of the great books, including of the Chidah of Rabbi Azilei, was also written. So it's a commentary of the Mishnah Torah by Maimonides, naturally. And in this specific introduction, in Hakdama of the book of the Kesef Mishnah, Rabbi Yosef Karo wrote that his goal was to quote the source of each law in the Mishnah Torah and to defend the work and the criticisms of the Ra'avad, who was naturally Rabbi Abraham ben David also. Also, after his book, after he passed away, also different books were also published with his writings. There was a Bedek Habayit, which was compiled in Solanikia, also, which were corrections of the Beit Yosef. There was also the Afkat Rachel, also which was published in 1791. The Magid Mea Sharim, which was published in Lublin back in the year 1646, and also the Rashot. There was the speeches which he actually compiled, which was a collection of the Oz Tzadikim. So he had many different places over there. He was buried in Tzfat, also naturally, after he had passed away. And many of the great Rabbanim who I've spoken about, Ariya HaKadosh also, who I spoke about, was also buried over there, the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, and also Moses ben Yaakov Cordovero, who also I gave a talk about, was also buried there. There's interesting things you can see online within regards pictures of his keva. I'd very much recommend you look at. There's pictures of his synagogue. There was a synagogue in Tzfat of Rabbi Yosef Caro also, which you can also look at. I will try and publish in another place. And he passed away naturally in Tzfat in the date March 24th of 1575, so towards the end of the 16th century. So I very much recommend to search more information online, look at his books. Obviously, we should try and have a seder every day of learning the Shulchan Aruch. It's very important. We know all the halacha which the Mechaber had written. Guys, please light candles in his memory, and may all his zchuyot be protecting Am Yisrael in turbulent times. Have a great day, guys. Bye.